It says I pulled it off. March the 7th, Saturday evening. Maybe I should have worn my cap. Just wanted to check in, see if any of y'all are on here this evening. Make sure the chat's working. This week has sure gone by fast. Last week was, well, actually seemed slower than this week, but we took off for the full week last week, went down to the beach, and mostly just stayed across the street, looked at the water, went to eat a couple of times, mostly just got a lot of rest. But it was nice. I hadn't done that. We were thinking back, I think it's probably been pretty close to 5 years since we've been down there. It just doesn't seem like it's been that long. But it was really nice. Maybe it won't be 5 years between now and next time, I hope. Seemed like I think they said the time's supposed to change tonight. I think they said they're going to do away with that. I sure hope they do because I'd like to leave it like we're going to be getting up an hour early, starting, I guess, starting tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's Sunday. I probably will get up about the same time I always get up anyway, but um, which is still early. But I like having that extra hour in the evening. It's really nice. And if they would just leave that alone, where we can not have to come home in the dark when the shortest days come on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that if it's really true. I hope it is. The weather down here is, they were saying, somebody said something about egg sized chicken egg sized hail. I was thinking, man, I hope not. I'll make sure my car's under the carport. And yeah, we didn't see any hail though. I think what had happened is it skirted past us to the west of us. It just it looked like a long tail, and it skirted its way past us. So we did stay home though. I didn't want to get caught out and get hail damage on my car. Take a chance on that. So we stayed home today. But we usually go out. The nearest town is like 45. Well, the nearest town that's got a lot of different places is 40 about 45 miles away, and we like to go over there on Saturday and eat. Sometimes go get some groceries. But we didn't do that today, so we might go out tomorrow though. I don't know if it's not going to be if there's not going to be any hail in the forecast. We had a great time down there last week. We went down to Galveston and we were able to get. We didn't make any reservations. I don't like to make reservations, especially this time of year, because the weather's been known to just blow in on you and without any warning. And if you reserve it and pay ahead several days, might end up losing it. So there's enough places down there we've gotten where we just go down there and we go try some place. And we did. We went to this really nice right across the street from the seawall. It's a Holiday Inn Express that had they put us on the fourth floor, which I really like. That's the top floor. You don't have to people at midnight coming in and running back and forth and listening to it on the top because you're on the top. But it had the balcony straight out, exactly facing the water. Instead of being on the side of the building, it was right on the front of the building where we could just sit out on the patio and just watch the water. And I really enjoyed that. There were some people out there surfing, and I saw someone with the kayak, and one man was on I'm not sure what you call it, a hover. It kind of looks like a scooter, that it's got a T handle on which you would ride on the water, and as it gets going, you're above the water, and that was really neat watching him. He went through the breakers, he went on the other side of the breaker, and he went all over out there. And he fell a few times, but he got right back up. And the people on the surfboards were the same way. But this one guy, he was just going all over out there on that thing. It looks like you have to kind of pump it to make it go. Like it looks like the tail of a whale, and it's down under the board about a foot, and the board's actually up on. There's air between the board and the water. That was fun watching that. But we didn't go out all that much up there. We went to that rainforest. I put a very short video, when we were at the rainforest cafe, and it just that's the one place I always really like to go. We got our grandkids some little trinkets while we were in there. That was fun. Hey, is the sound okay on this video? Somebody just say okay if it is. It looks like it's working, but I'm never really sure. Anyway, uh, yeah, we found a really nice Mexican restaurant there. We ate there a couple times. It was had really good hot sauce. I forget what you call them, but they're chicken wrapped up in a tortilla and fried. There's two different names that I've heard them call them. One of them's taquitos, but they didn't call it that. They called it the other name, and I can't think of it right now. But anyway, yeah, we had some good Mexican. We always like to eat Mexican food, and actually on the trip down there, we went. We didn't go on the freeway. We went the back roads, and there's this little Mexican restaurant about probably, if you're going down there, it's about three-fourths of the way down. It's called Macho's. It's in a little town called Winnie, Texas. Macho's Mexican restaurant. Man, that was a good place too. We ate there. We sometimes we eat Mexican food so much we get tired of it, but we really like it. And of course, at the rainforest, they got a really good steak, and we share it because plenty of food for two. Well, for the two of us, because we don't eat a whole lot. But anyway, that was that Rainforest Cafe, and we don't really care. Well, I don't get in the water because I got stung. I got stung by the man o' war when I was a kid, and it's kind of ruined it for me. As far as I don't mind walking on the beach looking for the sand dollars, but we don't get in the water. The wind was actually coming in from the south, so we didn't have mosquitoes. Sometimes you go down there and mosquitoes are really bad, but they weren't this time. They were. It was really nice, and the weather was just right. And because our anniversary is actually in about another 2 weeks, but we went on for our 50th anniversary. We went down there, uh, and the weather was perfect. I mean, it was beautiful. It was cool. It wasn't too hot. Uh, the spring break, all of the kids getting out of school, they weren't there. It was just quiet. It was really nice. We went down to the Murdoch's. They call it Murdoch's Bathhouse. It's actually a place where you buy souvenirs, and anybody that's been down there would know. But uh, they'll sell seashells and T-shirts and ink pens and almost all kinds of trinkets, that have Galveston memorabilia, all to do about that. And that, my wife loves to go through there. I could pass on that. That's not my thing, but I mean, it's kind of neat in a way. They've got a place out there. If you didn't have a really good place to sit and watch the water at the hotel, which we did, but there was a time back when we really didn't, and the last time, and we went down to Murdoch, so they've got a really good porch out there with the chairs. You can just sit out there. We sat out there, and it was a lot of fun. I think I took a picture back then, and I put it on the Facebook. For the ones that are on Facebook, you probably saw that, but that's been 5 years ago. But anyway, that was relaxation. I had 9 days that I was down altogether. We stayed down there Sunday night through Thursday night and came back Friday. It was really not. We rode the ferry, coming in, and then we rode it going back out because of the route we had to take, or the route we wanted to take. And I always like riding the ferry. It's something to do. But anyway, the weather here, actually, when I looked at the radar this morning, I decided going out. I'd already mowed the front yard last weekend after we got back, and then so I decided to take a chance I went on out there and mowed the backyard today, and I got through just in time before it started raining, and so that worked out good. And I'm kind of looking forward to the spring. It'll be a lot of weed eating and trimming, but I don't know. I'm trying to convince myself I like doing that stuff. It makes it easier. It is easier because, especially since the kids got me a these battery powered rechargeable batteries, the DeWalt and the Craftsman, a weed eater, hedge trimmer. I don't have to spend 20 minutes or whatever it takes to unwind a long extension cord anymore. I don't have to fool with that. I just charge the batteries when I'm finished. That's really been nice. Makes it a lot easier on me. So keep the yard looking pretty good. I don't feel. It's funny. I've got some neighbors that have that. They are pretty meticulous with their yard, and sometimes I wonder. They, of course, they hire it done. I think I've said, they mow it when it doesn't even need mowed. I can't imagine. I was thinking if I had them working for me, I'd just tell them, hey, if it don't need it, I'll still pay you. Y'all just leave it alone. I'm just thinking they're going to mow it until they get down to the dirt, but so far that hasn't happened. They sure do mow it it looks like every single week, whether it needs it or not. But I'm just rambling on here. I Yeah, I just wanted to come on and basically see if anybody's on here and say hi. And I've had I've had a few thoughts here lately, and I'm trying to put some stuff together. But I don't know, it hadn't really came together yet. So I don't have a lot to share, but I just thought I'd stop in and say hello. And man, there was something else I was thinking. What was it though? Funny how mind goes blank sometimes, and then you think of it later. But I had a good week this week. It wasn't real stressful, and yeah, light always 1, 2, 3. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on. I said, man. I shouldn't say that. I don't know. Bless you too. Yeah, I appreciate everyone that comes on and encourages me. I'm trying to be an encouragement to people, but I tell you what, sometimes it's just as much an encouragement when you guys come on here too. And yeah, I wish we could get in a good conversation. There's some things that we could conversate about, but it's really not such good stuff. Actually, there is one thing I was going to mention. Of course, I'm pretty sure all y'all have noticed it. The gas prices, which, like I said, that's kind of like a negative thing, but I really think that that's probably going to be a uh, temporary thing. I don't think it's going to last because I think what's going to happen, and I'm not sure, of course, who is, but I think that we're going to end up using some more of our own oil, and I think that's going to eventually be a good thing. And well, I'm hoping. I don't want to get political on here, but I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that that's what happens, and that that's a good thing because I've always heard that we really do have plenty of oil, especially if you consider North Dakota, and then they got well, of course, Texas. We got a lot of oil in Texas, and then we got the north. I think it's the northern slope of Alaska. They said there's a whole lot of oil up there, and so I think with all of it combined, and there's probably some fields out there they don't talk about. I'm guessing because usually I know. Um, People keep stuff up their sleeve, especially like uh, with for instance, we have I've always heard we've had military reserves of fuel just to be sure we had plenty. I'm not sure. I don't think they talk about that stuff a lot, but I really think we got enough oil over here that we'd be fine. We'd be just fine. And of course, you start pumping your own oil, and I think what could happen is that some of the other ones that are going to want to probably start coming down on the price. So I don't know. I don't know how all that works, but I'm willing to endure it for a short time. After that, well, I may not. I mean, without keeping a good attitude. I mean, I'm willing to endure it for a short time, but I don't feel like I have control over it at all. I'm just at the mercy. But I'm going to try to maintain a good attitude and see what happens. I think hopefully things will get better though, and so That's my encouragement tonight. Don't fret about the oil prices right or the gasoline at the pump. Actually, um, we actually about a year and a half ago we got a smaller car. I still drive the big SUV, but I use it around town and I don't put a whole lot of miles on it. So the fact that it doesn't get great gas mileage isn't a big factor there. But with the little car, which is the one we drive about 35,000 miles a year, we're getting in the mid 30s of gas mileage. And I tell you what, that makes a huge difference. So uh, I've kind of gotten used to it. I like to drive big vehicles and they feel roomier, but it's not an absolute necessity. I just makes you pay a little closer attention. Of course, you don't want to get ran into in any kind of a vehicle, but when I see people look like they're not stopping at a stop sign, I start slowing down. So anyway, but yeah, there's ways to trim, and that's what I do. Try to get around until things get better again. But yeah, I'm hoping for the best and prepare in case it doesn't. So it's about all I know to do. And yeah, I was going to mention too that my friend Rob. Oh, I've been watching his videos a lot lately. He's got this well, it's not new channel anymore, but I think it's called uh, Shade Tree Lawn Mechanic, or Shade Tree Lawnmower Mechanic. Anyway, some of y'all know about him. Uh, I'm really watching his other channel the most myself because I've watched it for years. It's called Off Grid Little House Off Grid, and really enjoyed his videos. He's yeah, one of the most honest people that I've ever met. He well, I haven't met him in person. I mean, I've talked to him, but I haven't been to his place or anything. But he's absolutely very candid about uh, the way that things are going. As far as he started out his channel out on the road traveling, and he and his wife, and they went all over the place. I mean, they went to the Grand Canyon, and they stayed at different places. There used to be places you could stay. He started out with a camper, and they could park someplace. I think it's like 2 weeks, and his channel grew and grew, and uh, it took him a long time. He's worked on it real hard, but he finally went back to his home state and bought some property and built a small house there. And boy, he's raised chickens. Of course, he's not doing chickens anymore, but it's been interesting because I've learned a lot from him. He's got his solar panel set up, which is something I've always had a dream of having. But it seems like to me, because we're so used to using so much electricity, I'd have to cover my whole place with those panels, probably to generate enough. But for what he has figured it out how to downsize and uses, I don't know, probably a smaller capacity washer and things like that doesn't require quite as much power. And he even has an air conditioner. Uh, I don't think they use it as a general rule, but they could if they wanted to. It's he's able to power the well and all that stuff. I've learned a lot about mainly what I put to use though was from his well and from his storage tank, because there was one year we had a question whether or not we were going to have water to be able to even flush the bathrooms, and so I copied his system and I put in a water tank just like he had gotten, and I put in the pump and everything. So all I got to do is go out there and hook it up, back my lawnmower up to it, hook it up with the 12-volt pump, and you can flush your toilets, things like that. I've learned from Rob. It's Little House Off Grid. That's the channel that I like the best because I'm being a mechanic myself. I pretty much know. Uh, I mean, there's some things I could learn from him on the lawnmower mechanic, but I've been doing that stuff for 50 years, so it doesn't appeal to me as much as the off grid, Little House Off Grid, and so. But I've really benefited from and learned a lot from what he showed on there. And anyway, I recommend his channel, Little House Off Grid, and Rob and Carolyn. And anyhow, I just thought I'd mention him because yeah, he's got one of the better channels in my opinion. He's not going to make up a bunch of lies. He's an honest man. And he doesn't use foul language either. I like that too. So anyway, I'll leave a link to both of his channels when I get off of here. I'll put them down in the description. The two channels that I mentioned, and you can see what I'm talking about. But anyway, him and Kevin. I like to watch Kevin, uh, Eek Acres. Those are the two. Those are the two YouTube channels that I watch. I don't have time. I do watch one other one, but I'm not. I'm probably subscribed, but I don't have the bell clicked. I just go on there each day and see when I get a chance, if I have time. And that's Steve. Steve up Isdall up in British Columbia. He's got the facts by howtohunt.com. I watch him when I have a chance, and I've listened to the letters that he reads until I've really heard about every angle you can hear on the topic they're discussing as far as what people seen in the woods. But what I really like, I don't know that Steve will ever see this, but if he does, what I really like is he started or he's very aware of things going on in the world, and he watches just a few programs, or he listens to them while he's driving and going hunting or whatever, because he travels sometimes big distances to go hunting. But he'll report his opinion on what's going on in the world, and I always love hearing that. And it might be 5 minutes at the beginning or even at the end, and I hate to admit it. I wouldn't want to admit it to him because his program is usually about an hour long, and I like to give people the benefit of giving them that watch time, because that's the big thing we all need on YouTube is the watch time. But uh, when I watch Steve lately, I've been giving him about 20 minutes because instead of an hour, because I just want to get in there and find out what's his take on the events happening in the world right now. And you know what, he thinks a lot like I do, and I think he sees things the way I do, and I can't really disagree with most of what he says as far as his opinion on what's going down, especially up there in Canada. He's really disappointed in some of the things that they've come up with over there. But anyway, that's about probably enough said. His program, and I'll go ahead and include that on there too. The three main channels that I watch, and I don't have time just to watch. Well, I don't make time to watch that many videos, but I'll put those three links down in the description so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And that's about it. I don't have a lot to say. Uh, thank y'all for coming on. God bless y'all. And uh, yeah, not only do I hope you guys are encouraged, but I hope you're also be a bit of encouragement to somebody else this week. And hope to see you in the next one. God bless y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here.